This photo story tells us about some of the historic buildings and heritage sites around Dromiskin. It was created by the boys and girls of Miss Farrell's 4th and 5th class. The picture of Dromiskin you see at the moment was taken in January 2010. The picture that follows was taken from the exact same spot about 100 years ago. It begins our journey back in time.
Dromiskin village is a very historical place. The graveyard was home to a monastery for hundreds of years. The remains of 2 churches and a round tower can be found there.
Saint Ronan was a famous abbot of Dromiskin Monastery. In the monastery there was a scriptorium, a refectory, a vegetable garden and beehive cells where the monks lived. The round tower was built in the 9th century.
It is 17 metres high, but is believed to have been much higher, and the roof dates from 1879.
The door is 3 metres off the ground and was reached by climbing a ladder.
The tower was originally built as a bell tower, but was also used as a hiding place when the monastery was attacked.
The monks had to leave the monastery at Dromiskin after being attacked by the Vikings. The old ruined church in the graveyard is St. Catherine's Church.
It has a nice east window with a Gothic arch.
It was built in the 14th or 15th century.
After the Reformation, it was used as a Protestant church.
St. Margaret's Church was built using stones from the ruins of St. Catherine's Church.
It was built in 1821.
There are 4 spires on the tower, which is the style of many Protestant churches.
The spires were topped with decorative caps. However, in the 19th century, they blew down in a storm. Reverend Chamney rescued some of these, and we found this one in very good condition at Cromeen.
The last rector of St. Margaret's Church was Reverend Joseph Chamney. He was rector in Dromiskin from 1866 to 1905.
This is an original prayer book from St. Margaret's Church, which was found in the basement of our Ronan. This music book once belonged to Reverend Stubbs, a rector in St. Margaret's Church.
The head of a 10th century granite cross can be seen in Dromiskin graveyard.
It was found at Seabank, about a mile away, and it was put on a modern granite base in 1918. This picture is over 100 years old.
There are Celtic designs and dragon-like creatures on the faces of the cross.
The cross is said to have marked the burial place of a High King of Ireland, Finlia.
The cross does not show any scenes from the Bible, so it is certainly not an abbot's cross. Dromiskin House was built in 1826. The primates or bishops of Armagh once lived in a palace on this site.
One of the bishops, Bishop Milo Sweetman, is buried in Dromiskin graveyard.
We found this date in the grounds of the house.
Tommy Makem on the left, the famous singer and musician, lived in Dromiskin House during the late 1960s. This is Dromiskin House today.
A biblical garden marks the place where the old Catholic Church once stood.
This was St. Michael's Church, built in 1823.
Very little remains today of St. Michael's Church. It was replaced by the present St. Peter's Church, which was completed in 1925. The outside walls of the church are made from Wicklow dressed granite.
The altar is made of marble. The church cost £30,000 to build, and much fundraising was done by Canon Peter Johnson, who even went to America to raise money.
This man is John Kenlon, whose family was connected with Dromiskin. He was the chief of the New York Fire Department and helped Canon Johnson fundraise in America. Here we see him meet some members of the fundraising committee in Dromiskin. This picture was taken on the site of St. Peter's Church.
The holy water font at the side door is 212 years old and came from the old St. Michael's Church.
Cardinal Logue opened and blessed the church on the 8th of December 1925.
This watermark found on Chapel Road marks sea level, showing that the land is below sea level.
Ardronan is a beautiful Georgian house in Dromiskin, which was built in 1766 by Reverend William Pine.
It was the rectory where the local Protestant rector lived.
It is a 3-story house built with red bricks and granite.
This is the original key of the door, and it is 15 centimeters long.
The house was first called the Glebe House, but was renamed Ardronan after St. Ronan. During the Second World War, German refugees stayed in Ardronan and wrote this message showing their thanks. The message says, Agnes Humanel came here in September 1946, left in March 14, 1949. God bless the people in this house.
There is a hill beside Ardronan where it is said that people were hanged by Cromwell's soldiers.
Cromeen is a house that was built by Reverend Chamney for his 2 daughters.
The Chamney sisters had been missionaries in India and were famous in Dromiskin for their herbal remedies and medicines.
The house had special views of their father's church and the Round Tower.
This granite bowl came from Reverend Chamney's original home in Wexford.
There is a souterrain or underground passage in the garden of Cromeen.
The souterrain was built around 800 AD and was used as a hiding place.
Milltown Castle was built by the Gurnans, and it is a Norman castle.
It has 4 towers with rounded edges and it is 55 feet high.
There are arrow slits and a lookout hole in the wall, and there was a murder hole where the Normans dropped rocks on their enemies.
People lived in the castle until the 1880s, when a more modern house was built nearby.
Dromiskin Old School was built in 1927. It replaced the old school.
There were originally 2 separate schools there, a boys' school and a girls' school, but they were later amalgamated.
At that time, teachers lit fires in the classrooms to provide heat. Children sat on benches and wrote with pens which were dipped in ink.
The girls learned how to knit and sew at school, while the boys played football.
The old school in Dromiskin was built in 1830. The children played lots of games at lunchtime: skipping, spinning tops, marbles, tig, hide and seek and hopscotch.
There are no toilets in the old school, and children had to use a bucket in the field across the road. Some children came to school in their bare feet. We can see this in the picture.
The school summer holidays lasted for 4 weeks.
There were 2 weeks holidays in October for picking potatoes.
By doing this project, we have learned so much about our village and what life was like long ago.
We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed doing it.